In the summer of 2018, I was fortunate enough to discover this small scattered hoard from the late Bronze Age. It dates from the Ewart Park phase of 900 to 600 BC. After making the initial find, I plotted the find spots of each item on the ground and handed this information to my FLO along with the artifacts. Obviously, as this is a hoard, it was to be considered as treasure. It has since been recorded, disclaimed, and now returned to me. I've just found one complete Bronze Age axe, just a few meters, couple of meters, 3 meters away. Oh my god! And I have a second right here. I think I may have found a hoard of axes. Well, I've just got this axe out of the hole and it's a big one. I tell you what, these moments do not happen often in metal detecting. Oh, thank you. That's so incredible. That's a monster axe. The soil on this field has never been kind to any type of bronze artifact or coin. As you can see here, the patinas are not great on these axe heads, and to add to it, last summer was one of the driest summers I've witnessed in the local area. So being a scattered hoard, some of these axes have been rolling around in the plough soil longer than others. This piece is fairly well abraded. But the next axe, the patina has degraded and some of the bare metal is showing through, but I still think this is a really nice piece purely from the shape of the axe head. There was also the odd surprise whilst discovering the hoard, and you will see that in the next clip. This is just getting crazy. I've already found 2 axe heads, there's the imprint. I thought I'd just found another one, but I'd actually found a bloody hammered. Oh, it looks like it's a good one as well. Oh no. This is starting to get really serious. Axe head number 3. I think I may have to go put my big coil on. I've been metal detecting for 24 years. And do you know what? I don't think I've ever been this excited. Wow, I don't even know how many I'm up to. I think 4. This one's just under the surface. It's probably going to be pretty messed up. It's loud, very loud. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so this one is rolling around in the plough soil. I don't know, is this number 5? Oh, this is insanity. Socketed axe in the plough soil. It's got stripes on it, and what the hell is that in there? Whoa, there's something else possibly in that. Oh, I think we're somewhere pretty handy of the centre of the hoard spot. Whoa. After digging this axe, I resisted the temptation to extract whatever was lurking inside. I also handed the rest of my axes in with the soil still left in their sockets, just in case there were other artifacts or debris inside that could shed more light on the hoard. Inside this axe turned out to be by far my favourite find in this whole hoard. This wonderful socketed gouge. The person that concealed this hoard took the time to place this safely inside the axe head. Maybe the owner of these items wanted to return and dig them up in better times, or maybe they were a permanent offering to their gods. We will never know, but what we do know is that this socketed gouge stayed safe inside the axe head for nearly 3 millennia. It was even sealed from oxygen at the base, and you can see that the original bronze colour still remains. The audio on this clip was a mixture of wind noise and quite a bit of swearing. I just could not believe this axe was on the surface. You can see how it's taken quite a knock from the machine that just recently disked and cultivated the field. But other than that, it's complete. And it's a miracle that something that size actually has survived. Here is one of the better condition axe heads. What stands out with this one is the prominent casting seam. When looking at it, I'm just reminded of the whole smelting process, the collection of the ore, production of a two-piece mould that fits together perfectly, and then the whole complex smelting process itself. An incredible achievement back in those times. I also discovered 2 separate pieces of bun ingot. They may have formed at the base of the furnace during smelting, or they could have been recast from scrap items. Being included within this hoard may indicate that the person who buried the items was a metalworker, but also these ingots could have been traded amongst different Bronze Age communities. Okay, so we're going very careful. It's been like a week and I've finally just hit a very small piece of axe. So as we've seen, not everything in this hoard was axe related. I had 2 pieces of ingot, the socketed gouge, and also this Thorndon type socketed knife. Although a fragment, still quite a rare find. So that's about it for the hoard. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this. I'm going to finish off the video with a few pictures from a site that I visited recently called Flag Fen. Here in the Bronze Age, a wooden causeway was built across the landscape, bridging the most wettest areas. This monument was built around 1350 to 950 BC. Oak posts were driven into the boggy ground, and in the centre a raised platform was built. From this platform, a large number of artefacts have been found that are probably ritualistically placed in the water, broken on purpose as if to take the object out of use. Here's some of the swords that were discovered. Some of these swords date from the Ewart Park phase, the same time period as my hoard. So with this site being so waterlogged, a lot of organic materials being preserved, obviously the wooden causeway and platform, but smaller objects such as handles for axes. This gives us a glimpse how a socketed axe was hafted to a piece of wood. On this display, I also noticed lurking to the right was a socketed gouge, very similar to the one I discovered. And finally, a quick look at a reconstructed Bronze Age roundhouse at Flag Fen, with its turfed and thatched roof and wattle and daubed walls. Discovering this hoard has took me on a journey back to the Bronze Age, stepping back into time, looking back into humanity, discovering the importance of history and how the concealment of things in the past can reconnect to the future.